this video, I'm going to walk through a very simple example on how to use OpenAI's large language models. We're going to first start with doing a pip install. We're going to pip install the OpenAI package. We're here in Google Colab, and so this is how you pip install a package that's not already available. If you don't have a Google Colab account, I would advise setting up a Google account if you don't already have one, and then signing up for Google Colab and using it is free to use, and it's very straightforward to sign up. And so now once we pip installed it, we're going to set our API key. There's actually better ways to do this. If we weren't in Google Colab, we'd have like environment variables. The best way to do this is to actually store your API key as an environment variable and then load it in that way, just so you're not just hard coding your API keys into this notebook, accidentally sharing it with someone else, and then they use your API key and you get charged a ton of money. But for the sake of demonstration in this Google Colab notebook, we don't have to go to those practices. And so you can set your API key here, which I've already done. And now I've created this function called generate. And what it's going to do is it's going to take in some text input, which is called a prompt. That's what we call it. We call it a prompt. We're going to use this model. We're going to use OpenAI's completion module, and we're going to create a completion where we're going to use the Text DaVinci version 3. Now it's a very popular model. We're going to pass in the prompt. We're going to say don't use more than 100 tokens. You can actually limit the amount of tokens that the model uses just so you make sure you don't get charged too much. And then we're going to set the temperature equal to 0, which is just another way it's just a way for us to be able to limit the amount of variation that the model uses in its output so that we make sure that we get more consistent outputs. The model will be less creative. And then here is how you can actually access the response from the model here. This is where the response is. This is the number of tokens. So in a particular response, you'll get back a lot of data, and it'll tell you how many tokens were used to be able to generate this response. And so now I'm going to pass in this prompt, translate this sentence to Spanish, and it's going to be working with OpenAI's API models, so super fun. And then I'm going to pass this into the model, and it may take a second for it to translate, but it translates the sentence to Spanish, and this is correct. And so that is a very simple, straightforward way how to use the models in OpenAI. You can do this yourself, and I encourage you to play around with this.